Hello there, ninth graders. This is Teacher Krishna, and welcome to our biology class for week number 15. One more time, thank you for coming, and thank you for completing all of the assignments that you have had so far. Keep it up, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to be great professionals in the future, since you're going to keep on learning, even though you are not at school, but you are at home. So keep it up, and any questions, I will be more than glad to help you out. Before we start, just like always, get your book, enter the Google Classroom, download your Word document, and save it in your biology folder. And of course, you have to name it just like it is specified right below. As we move, remember to take notes on your Word document. That is going to help you out to keep track of the most important things from this video and presentation. So this week we're going to study lesson number 3, pages 119 to 123. The ending mind for this week is the following. It's pretty short. Explain why mutations happen in the DNA. Mutation is an extremely interesting topic to learn about. So you will find out later why. Mutations. So all mammals consume milk in the first stage of their lives. We can talk about dogs, for example. When they are puppies, they need to consume a lot of milk from their mother so they can grow normally and they can have enough nutrients inside their bodies. We can talk about cats, monkeys, lions, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of species that consume milk in the first stage when they are babies. But here's what's interesting. Humans are the only mammals that can consume milk during their lifetime. And this is interesting because, of course, when we're babies, we consume milk all the time. It's because of the same reasons for other species, in order to have enough nutrients and, of course, to grow appropriately. But it is possible to drink milk in other stages of your life. When you are not an adolescent or when you are an adult, even you can consume milk. But how is it possible? Well, it is possible because of a mutation that has allowed humans to consume lactose in other periods of their lives. And what is also crucial is that you have to notice that we do not consume like human milk. Probably right now you're thinking about how disgusting it will be to consume human milk right now in this stage of your life. But if you think about it, imagine you are consuming milk from other species, like from cows, or here in Guatemala it's possible to find a sheep's milk. And imagine you are consuming the milk of other species, but you're not consuming the milk of your species. And of course, I'm not going to ask you to drink human milk because that's totally inappropriate. But just for you to have it in mind and have that comparison on your mind. But you have to notice that some people are lactose intolerant, which basically means that they cannot consume lactose or milk. How does that happen? Well, basically you have to notice that there are humans that have this mutation and humans that don't. So the humans that have this specific mutation are able to consume milk and lactose during the whole stages of their lives. But the people that do not have the mutation just yet are the ones that cannot consume milk, okay? And here we have a very beautiful picture of a glass with milk. And how can mutations affect an organism? So it can affect the organisms in many different ways. It can be positive, negative, or it can just be something neutral. So traits can be a result of a change in the DNA. You will find out later that there are different changes. And mutations are any change in the DNA, gene, or chromosome. It causes the cell to produce a wrong protein. In previous weeks, we studied the process of the protein synthesis. And what happens is that when there is a modification in the DNA and a wrong protein is created, that is going to cause the organisms to present these different effects. For example, one more time, we can go back to the example of the consumption of milk and The humans that can consume milk during all of the stages of their life have this wrong protein that they didn't have before. And they only passes to offspring if sex cells are affected. So I'm sorry about that. There is some heavy transportation that is passing by. There you go. Let's continue. So let's suppose that some of your skin cells are affected, and then you have a baby. Well, there are great chances that specific modification from your skin cells are not going to go to your baby because the sex cells or sperms and ovas are not affected. It happens when a base pair is substituted or deleted. The resulting cells have extra chromosomes or less chromosomes. Remember that humans have 46 chromosomes in total. So it's possible that you have an extra chromosome or it's possible that you have one less chromosome. Here we have examples of what mutations look like in the DNA code. So we're going to take number 1 as a reference as the original DNA. In number 2, you can notice that there was specifically one part that was removed. In the first one, you have 3 T's, 3 A's, 3 C's, and 3 G's. But in number 2, you have 3 T's and 3 A's, but you only have 2 C's and 2 G's. So that is going to cause a change in the trait of the organism. And we can analyze number 3, and this time, not one pair was removed, but actually one pair was added up. One more time, that can cause a change in the trait of the organism. Lastly, we have number 4, which in this case you can notice that you don't have a 3 C's and 3 G's, but one of those paired bases are substituted by a letter T and a letter A. One more time, what are all of this going to cause in the organism? They are going to generate a modification in the traits of the organism. And the effects of the mutation. Mutations are changes in the organisms that can be harmful, helpful, or neither of them. Just like I mentioned, they can have a certain benefit to the organism. It's possible that they don't have any benefit, and instead they are harmful for the organism, or it's something that has no effects at all. It is harmful if it reduces the chances of survival or reproduction in the organism. Think of a green and a white alligator. I'm going to explain that just in a little while. And some mutations allowed bacteria to become resistant to medicine. What has happened is that humans have overused some medicine in order to fight certain disease. The worst part is that most of that medicine use have not been prescribed by a doctor, but what happens is that whenever people get a flu or when they get a cough, they auto-medicate themselves. So when that happens, the medicine that they have used is not appropriate, and since that is not appropriate for the virus that they had, it causes the virus to mutate and to become more resistant to certain medicine. That is why it's always good to go to the doctor whenever you are sick. But if we take it from a different perspective, this is going to be beneficial for bacteria because it will increase its chances of survival inside the human body. Another example that I can give you about this sort of disease can be, for example, the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. So, what happens with the coronavirus is that it was a mutation. So, it is a virus that mutated, and of course, it is combined with SARS and with the symptoms of a regular flu. What happens is that when it mutated, it became way more contagious and it was capable of spreading all around the world basically. What happens is that is very beneficial for the virus itself. So this mutation helped it to start like reproducing around and to have greater chances of survival inside the human body. But it is not a benefit. It is not helpful for humans at all because this is a sort of virus that actually is pretty dangerous for itself. Okay, but now we're gonna take a look at this specific picture. And this is a very different crocodile, and it's a white crocodile. So how is it possible that we get a white crocodile from the nature? Well, it is possible because of the mutations that I was mentioning about. So it's possible that this crocodile in particularly have an extra paired base, or one of their paired bases was deleted, or just like the last example, one of their paired bases was substituted. So if we analyze it, does it have a greater chances of survival or less chances of survival? Well, unfortunately, the crocodile has less chances of survival because of its color, basically. The green color in crocodiles actually has a purpose for itself, and it is the purpose of camouflage. When crocodiles have this greenish color, they are capable of hiding from their prey. So when they come when they come close to the water to drink a little bit, they are capable of attacking them and actually feeding and getting some food. The problem with this specific alligator is that since it is white, it'll be easier for the prey of the crocodile to identify that he is close. So it has less chances of survival, so that is not beneficial for the organism. Okay, and how is cancer related to this topic? Well, cancer is just not a disease, and there are more than 100 types of cancer. They can occur in almost every part of the body. So cancer is extremely related to mutations because basically what cancer cells do is that they are going to start reproducing uncontrollably. And since they have a mistaken DNA code, then they are going to overrun the health cells, which can cause even death in different types of cancer. So cancer is a disease in which cells grow and damage the body uncontrollably. They overrun normal cells, just like I mentioned, and cancer can be inherited. Some substances can cause cancer as well. Notice that sometimes cancer is inherited by parents to their offspring, but it can also be caused by certain substances. For example, if you smoke a lot, then your lungs start getting damaged. And if you overdo it, then your lungs are going to get cancer. So basically, cancer cells are going to start reproducing more and more, and they are going to affect even more the lungs from the person that has smoked way too much. Okay, now let's go with the evaluation. Please read and summarize lesson 3, pages 180 to 23. And especially, you have to read pages 122 and 123. Then, students have to create a PowerPoint presentation with relevant information about mutations in humans and animals. So what I want you to do is to go on internet and investigate about what mutations there can be found in humans and what mutations can be found in animals. You can mention if they are beneficial or if they are harmful or if they are neither of them. Make sure to be very specific with that, and they have to include real examples in the variations suffered in the chromosomes and codification of DNA. So let's suppose that you investigate the mutation of the autism in humans. So autism is changed by a mutation in one of the chromosomes in the human body. So what I want you to do is to be very specific. For example, I don't clearly remember right now, but that is why you have to investigate. But you can say, well, autism is caused by the change in the chromosome number 22, for example, of the human body. Okay. Make sure to include images in your summary and of course in the investigation that you have right there. When you have it ready, make sure to upload it to the Google Classroom so I can double check it later on. What rubric am I going to use to evaluate? Well, I need you to have complete and meaningful content, images, 2 points, grammar, 2 points, general structure of the presentation, introduction, body, and conclusion, 2 points, general appearance of the presentation, 1 point, and lastly, animations and transitions, 1 point. That's basically it for today's session. Thank you for coming one more time, and I will be seeing you next week. Goodbye.